Hello again. So, carrying on with Peter Davison, we've got another 4 stories to go over. So, to start off, we'll do The Awakening, another one of the 2-part stories that was used as a filler to do instead of a 6-parter. John Nathan Turner, by this point, did not like 6-parters, so he put in a 4-parter and a 2-parter to kind of even everything out. But anyway, so this was actually a story that I remembered almost nothing about until it came out on DVD. I think I'd only watched it once previously, but yeah, just another basic 2-parter. And I haven't watched in a while, so I've almost forgotten what it's about again. But it's one of those small village things, and things go wacky and stuff, and yeah, so you'll have to watch it. Then another what I considered when I first saw this one, actually, this was probably one of my favorite Davison stories, just because of the creep factor. If nothing else, because of the way the TARDIS is just kind of blown up and moved into a rock face or whatnot at the end. I just thought that when I was a kid, I thought that was creepy as hell. So that's one thing that stuck with me. And I think one thing that should be said about Davison's last season is he's often been quoted as saying if his last season had been his second season, he would have stayed for a 4th season, if that makes any sense. The general idea in fandom is his second season was probably his weakest, and his third, I would argue, was definitely his strongest. He tweaked his character a little bit. He wasn't playing it sort of with, the youthful naivete, if you want to put it that way, of the earlier seasons. More of the professorial approach, which you can see right here with the glasses. And, it's an approach that he's taken with the Big Finish audios in recent years when he's picked up the character again. And the stories were definitely better in the 3rd season. So we've got Fronios. Yes, the costumes still were not quite up to par, but whatever. So, there we go. I'm not sure. I think this is one of those that is being discontinued, or I can't remember if this was on the discontinued list. Now, check my other video. I've forgotten half the stuff that was on there. I know Planet of Fire definitely is. It goes for about $300 now. I might actually make a video about what some of these discontinued Region 1 Doctor Who DVDs are going for right now. And I don't know why specific ones were discontinued, but that's another story altogether. Now here we have, this is the original release of Resurrection of the Daleks. There has been a re-release, which I have not yet gotten. I've actually picked up some of the special releases. I picked them up a few months ago. But they're the earlier stories, mostly Tom Baker and some Patrick Troughton stories, or his Tomb of the Cybermen and a couple Tom Bakers I picked up, and I have not yet done a video of those because I want to get through this series first. But Resurrection of the Daleks is right here, and this is also known as being the Doctor Who episode that has a higher body count than Terminator. By this point, the show was getting quite violent, but still, it was firing on all cylinders by this point. I really, as much as I like Colin Baker, and especially with the Big Finish releases, he's probably become my favorite Doctor, but I also would have liked to have seen Davison kind of continue, at least maybe for one more season, on, sort of this upward climb in quality that they're making by the end of his 3rd series. But so we got Resurrection of the Daleks here. We've got Davros coming back. This is also one of the only releases, the original one, that actually includes John Nathan Turner. The original release was put together before he passed away. So yeah, I think this is probably the only one that has non-archival footage. So that makes this one unique. And as far as I know, that was on the re-release, although I haven't actually looked to see if it is. I don't see why they'd take it out, but anyways. And then Planet of Fire, which now goes for a small fortune. I should say Resurrection of the Daleks actually sees the departure of Tegan, which was one of the Doctor's longest-running companions. And in Planet of Fire, we see the introduction of Peri, who would stay almost as long as the 6th Doctor. I guess if you look at stories, she stayed, or amount of stories done, exactly the same length as the 2nd Doctor. Planet of Fire, this also sees the departure of Turlough. And for the first time since, really Romana, The Doctor has just one companion, so it's been about 4 or 5 years or whatever. Although if you can consider a K9, a bona fide companion, which I guess he would, this is the first time he had just a solo companion since, I guess, Louise Jameson before the introduction of K9 in the 70s, so it had been a while. Chameleon makes a return in this, but he plays a small part, and then after this he's done, and then for the last story, Perry is the sole companion, and so forth. But anyways, so there we go. More stories done, more to come. So thank you all for watching, and have a great day.